Locke and Key. Locke and Key. You get it? Locke and Key because Locke is the family name and yeah, we get it. Okay. Locke and Key is a new TV series on Netflix, and also this is based off the graphic novel. So I didn't have no idea going into this series and going into this review. So if you're hoping for me to try to compare the source material, well, I can't help you out on that. Also, this review will be spoiler free. So Locke and Key is all about these three siblings who move into their ancestral estate after the murder of their father. And then these three siblings discover magical keys, which must be used in their stand against an evil creature who wants the key in its power. We have our TV series, Locke and Key. This, I was a little bored a little bit. I was on Netflix, surfing and stuff, trying to figure out what to watch. And I checked out Locke and Key, and I gotta tell you that this series right here was entertaining as hell. Got this family of four that's dealing with the tragedy of their father, and they move into this ancestral home. And inside their ancestral home, there are keys that these kids, Tyler, Kenzie, and Bodhi, find. I did like the development of its story. Like the story beats was pretty good in this series, and that's one of the pros in this thing I really had to talk about. Like, I really did enjoy this series. The story progressed itself in a timely fashion, but I do gotta say that it takes at least 2 episodes to get fully into the show. One of the interesting things that you will learn about this series, you will understand what really went down in the past that led to the murder of their father. That's like the huge mystery, and it ties in with the keys. Throughout the season, the story does a good job of giving you flashback scenes to answer some of the questions that you sort of ask yourself in around episode 3 and episode 4. This season consists of 10 episodes, and the season basically revolves around the children of the Locke family. Like, the mother is in this series as well, but she's pretty much more of a side character. The main highlights in this whole entire series coming from the main cast, Amelia Jones, and also the kid who was in It Part 1. They all did a good job with their performances, and they're pretty much teenagers. The Taylor, he's the oldest child. Kenzie is the second oldest, and Bodhi is the youngest. He's basically like a child. Pretty much the series focuses on these teenagers. Basically, there's lots of high school moments, lots of peer pressure. There's lots of teen angst and teen anxiety and teen stuff in this series. The show has some good character moments. Like, there is some tragedy like hitting throughout this series. You get a little bit emotionally involved, and I did like that. The writing in this show was pretty good, and I have to say that they did a good job of making you feel for the characters. Also, I did like the progression of its story. 3 siblings are at a certain point, but then they become different characters at the end of season 1, which I really do like that. That is some amazing character progression right there. This series has some good visuals and stuff like that, but also the CGI is not really up to par, only because it's a TV series, so everything's not perfect. But the scope, the scale, it was there. It definitely delivered. I was entertained. It had high stakes, it had consequences. I did like the development of the keys. Like, the keys themselves are practically characters themselves within this series, because it's the MacGuffin that these kids need to find before the evil doer comes around. And the evil doer is a villainess that she wants the keys, and pretty much I can't really go into spoilers of where she came from. You gotta watch the show to fully understand it, but the actress who played the villainess did a decent job in things. But there is a few little nitpicks I do have with this series, and a few little bit of flaws, but outside of that, this show was entertaining. You definitely gotta check it out. So here are the flaws. I had to deal with some of the writing for the character choices. This show revolves around pretty much the children. It doesn't really focus on the adults of the family. Like, their characters, they have exceptional screen time, but most of the screen time revolves around the children. So really, some characters are going to be put to the sidelines. My main issue has to do with the mother in the final season finale. In the season finale, she was practically pointless in the whole entire episode. She was rendered in one place, and one place only, for the entire episode. And I'm just like, I just felt like the writers trying to make some excuse to write her out the show. I don't know. I just had a huge problem with the mother in the season finale. That was only just a nitpick. I don't know if it was like that in the graphic novel. I have no idea, but I feel like I feel like she should have been involved more in the season finale. Another problem I have with this series has to do with some of the consequential choices of the character. Like, characters make drastic decisions, but one of the main characters that makes a kind of life-altering decisions has to be Kenzie. And she's dealing with peer pressure and stuff like that. She's trying to fit in. But throughout the season, she kind of makes weird decisions, like weird, awkward decisions. That made me a little bit irritating, but yeah, she's a teenager, so you know these decisions are required to be made, and it's a show that revolves around teenagers as well, so it's a catch-22. You just gotta deal with it. You know? Also, another thing, I feel like the show could have been darker in a way. It's like like when I was watching this TV series, like there were some moments where the show had graphic imagery. The show had some like graphic violence in a way, but they kind of cut back away from it, like where this person shoots a guy. The scene was graphic, but then when they showed later scenes and violence and later on the season, they're kind of tamed, and some of the consequences should have been more dire for certain characters. Like, there's some times in this series where you feel like characters need to die in that moment, but then the character ends up surviving. Like, okay, that doesn't really feel earned. I just feel like that character needed to die, and I feel like that was a good consequential moment. Now, that's just me probably being dead inside. Other than that, the show was entertaining. The show had some good performances. The writing is not completely there up to par. The execution does lack at times, leading on to a few episodes. Like, there's episodes where you got a whole bunch of characters doing some nonsensical things. And the best way to describe this series, it is Stranger Things and The Haunting of Hill House put together, and you have Locke Key. So I'm going to give Locke Key a B. That's definitely an interesting TV series you got to check out. So definitely, have you seen Locke Key? What are your thoughts below? Comment below and let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next review. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel. Join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews on the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao.